Good morning. It's actually noon on Monday. I believe today's the 27th of September. It's lunchtime. Taking a break from my day to come and sit by the lake. People ask me, why did I move? Oops, I realized I had my finger on the microphone. And people ask me why I moved here. Because this is where I get to go on my lunch break. Although when I had the restaurant, I didn't have much of a lunch break, but you know what I mean. There's a brave soul swimming. Wetsuit, of course. As I show you this beautiful view, I'm reminded of an interview I listened to. Actually, the podcast is called On Being. It's fabulous. Krista Tippett. I mean, everybody would want to have her job. Well, not everybody, but I'd love to have her job. She just gets to interview kinds of really cool people. Anyway, my friend Lara, too, would like to have her job. Krista Tippett on Being. John O'Donohue is also someone that she had on that was fabulous. I think I mentioned that before. But recently I've been listening to her conversation and interview with Rachel Naomi Remen. Rachel Naomi Remen is a jewel of a woman who has written two of my favorite books, Kitchen Table Wisdom and My Grandfather's Blessings. I strongly encourage you to look them up and see if they speak to you. But in her interview, the title of her interview or podcast with Krista Tippett on Being was the difference between curing and healing. Now, Rachel is an MD. She was trained as an MD. But thanks in part to her grandfather, who was an Orthodox rabbi, a mystic, and her lifelong struggle with Crohn's disease. She says that in her... Ooh, it's starting to rain. I think somebody's picking something off the bottom of the lake. I wonder what it is. It's starting to rain. It's getting misty. You're about to see the Loch Ness come out. Ben no. Okay, what was I saying? The difference between curing and healing. She said in medical school we learn, how to cure certain illnesses. And, it's like insulin for diabetes. That was huge. That was in her lifetime. I believe she's in her late 60s, early 70s. And she says, we really thought we could cure it all, but you can give insulin to a diabetic person and save their life. Absolutely. But the quality of the life, and there is so much, all the psychological, emotional underpinnings that needs healing. There's no pharmaceutical pill that's going to heal. And she speaks of storytelling as a wonderful healing tool. It's just so many beautiful quotes from that interview. I strongly suggest that you go give a listen if it calls you. You'll be hearing more, I think, about Rachel Naomi Remen. Her stories are fantastic, absolutely fantastic. She basically was an MD who started to realize that you have to listen to the patients. You can't just give them a pill and send them home. Not to mention that she ended up becoming, I wouldn't say an expert, but a lot of her fellow MDs, a lot of her fellow doctors were sending her their patients because she had such a listening and a humanity about her, and she took the time. And a lot of these MDs, and again, this is, 30, 40 years ago, there's no judgment here at all, ever. They didn't have the tools or the opportunity to really listen to these patients, and a lot of these were cancer patients, so we were looking at chemo and all that goes with that. There's a lovely picture there with a bit of a